Hey babes, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brandy. I am the host of the Be Real Babe show, and today, you guys, it is internet insanity, and I have got three different stories for you today. One story is about a woman who unfortunately lost her life and how her spouse is being held responsible for it over in Austria, and then the other two are about OnlyFans models. One did something really, really great, but the internet is divided, and the other one was doing what she normally does and now could be facing prison. So if you guys are interested in listening to those stories, stick around and we'll jump right in. All right, babes, as mentioned, three different stories. The first one we're going to go over is a tragic story coming out of Austria where a man is being charged with the manslaughter of his girlfriend for taking her up a mountain and essentially leaving her there. And it's a really hard one. He did some wrong, but I always just struggle with these ones because I wasn't there and I always get so torn. But we're going to go through that one. And then the last two stories that we're going to talk about, both about OnlyFans models, but two completely different stories. One where one has done some good with her money, the other one has been caught doing some things and is in jail for doing these things that she normally does in a place that she shouldn't be doing it and now is facing prison time. So, the very first story is coming out of Austria. So, tragically chilling message man sent girlfriend after leaving her to freeze to death on the mountain. So, he's been charged with manslaughter over her death. A man has been charged with manslaughter, left a tragic note to his girlfriend after she froze to death on a mountain. 33-year-old Kirsten Wertner had been hiking on Grossglockner, Austria's highest mountain, with her boyfriend when she died. Thomas Plamberger, who was a seasoned mountaineer, had been charged with manslaughter, has since been charged with manslaughter over her death. The pair had been hiking the 12,460-foot mountain in January when temperatures dropped to negative 20 degrees. Gertner's legs are said to have given up exhaustion around 9:50 when they were 100 feet from the summit. It wasn't until 2 a.m. that 36-year-old Plamberger left to search for help, but Gertner later died from the extreme cold. A helicopter search mission was called off at approximately 7 a.m. due to winds. 3 hours later, a search team found her body. Officials have been investigating the circumstances around the incident for the last 11 months and now have issued the charges. It's been reported that Plamberger left a message on social media to his late girlfriend and has been since deleted. I miss you so much. It hurts so incredibly much. Bild reported, he wrote. Forever in my heart, without you, time is meaningless. The public prosecutor's office is now said to be charging him with negligent homicide. If found guilty, he could face 3 years in prison. Prosecutors said at approximately 2 a.m. the defendant left his girlfriend unprotected, exhausted, hypothermic, and disoriented about 50 meters below the summit cross of the Grossglockner. The woman froze to death since the defendant, unlike his girlfriend, was already very experienced with alpine high altitude tours and had planned the tour. He was to be considered the responsible tour guide of the tour. Despite the woman's inexperience, she had never undertaken an alpine high altitude tour of this length, difficulty, and altitude. And despite the challenging winter conditions, the defendant undertook the alpine high altitude tour to Grossglockner via the Stud I'm gonna butcher this. Studelgrat with her in winter. Plamberger has denied the charges and instead has said his girlfriend's death was an accident. He said it was mutual agreement between the couple for him to leave to go get help and called the incident tragic and fateful. See, this is the thing, like, and I'm not saying yes or no. And it's not first degree, obviously, and they're not second degree, it's manslaughter. So I get it. Like, I get with that. But, like, what if that was true? You know what I'm saying? That could be potentially hard on the jurors if that's what it goes to. Prosecutors also noted that Plamberger did not alert emergency services until it got late into the night and made no effort to signal a police helicopter that flew above him and his girlfriend at 10:50. He also had been accused of making a call to mountain police and then putting his phone on silent. Those things are weird and that kind of changes. I'm only saying that because, I don't have to make the decision because I'm not a juror in this case. I'm not involved. I'm just someone reporting stuff on the internet. But sometimes I've really thought people are guilty and then all of a sudden it's not. So I'm always so second guessing myself. But if it sounds like perhaps she passed maybe around 2 a.m. is when her light went out, I believe. So if there was a helicopter at 10:50 p.m. and he had the ability to call and then put his phone on silent, that's pretty fucked. Prosecution also accused him of leaving his girlfriend defenseless, exhausted, hypothermic, and disoriented by not attempting to move her to somewhere with better shelter or giving her a foil blanket. An image time-stamped at 2:30 a.m. showed Plamberger alone pushing to descend to the other side of the mountain. His trial is due to take place in February 2026. So we'll keep up with that because I'm going to be very curious. I could have been wrong on the time there. But either way, it sounds like obviously they have a little bit more to accuse him of this and take it to court. So I'll be curious to see, and we'll obviously I'll keep you guys updated on this one. But again, it's just by no way, shape, or form am I victim shaming at all. I just think like make sure for sure if you're gonna do something like this, like maybe go with a couple people. I'm not saying I don't know. There's no how would you know, right? But I don't know. I feel so safe inside my house. I think that's the problem, you guys. Don't get upset. I know there's people upset about the cruise ship one. I just feel like if I don't leave my house, then I'm a lot safer. Okay. I feel like a lot of people on YouTube understand that. No. I couldn't imagine what that must have felt like for her. And, I really feel for her family and so sad that she's only 33 years old. And it sounded like she was obviously loving doing this as a, because I don't think you just go to Austria's highest mountain, right? So obviously you gotta like what you're doing, and she probably wanted to just take that next step. I feel like it's so crazy what can happen up there, and in the elements, and then on top of that, like I don't know, we'll see in the coming trial if this guy is crazy or not. We don't know yet. This is new to me, new information, so we'll TBD on that one. Or was it a true accident and a really unfortunate event and maybe he was going for help? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I've never been at the top of a mountain like that. I've never been that in a situation, so I have no idea what you would do, but let me know what you guys think. Do you know anything about this? Yeah, I just not trying to be that way. I like climbing small mountains and tobogganing down them. That's about it for me. I'm not a huge big mountain because I hate the fucking cold. If they're warm mountains, I'm into it. If they're cold mountains, I'm not into it. That's just how I am. So next story. Okay, so I wouldn't say that the next story necessarily has people divided, but I know that it's always kind of like a quote unquote controversial topic, and there's some people that have said stuff in my comment sections about OnlyFans models when I've talked about them before. One was the one in Dubai that barely made it alive, but this one is a little bit different. So let's go through it and then I tell you guys what I think. So Sophie Rain, one of the richest OnlyFans models with 85.4 million in earnings, makes massive donation to fight America's hunger problem and feed families. Her donation amount and projected earnings will surprise you. So this is from December 5th. Sophie Rain, one of the highest earning OnlyFans models, has been taking several steps to scale her efforts towards helping people and families struggling with basic things like food and water. After pledging 1 million in August 2025 to Clean Water Initiative led by YouTuber Mr. Beast, Rain has shifted her focus to hunger problems across America. Which I just think is great no matter who you are. I don't think anybody can argue that. In October 2025, the Florida-based OnlyFans model donated 121,000 of her subscription earnings to Feeding America, a nonprofit network fighting hunger in the United States. Speaking to People, Rain said, "I decided from the start that 100% of what I made would go straight to Feeding America. The donation was raised in just 24 hours after she told subscribers that she would donate every penny earned on September 30th, 2025 to the organization. However, Feeding America has yet to publicly confirm the donation." So I am just reading this off the internet. I have to say this time and time again, guys. I'm just reading articles. You have to go research for yourself if you do not believe that these things are true. I'm just reading these things. I've seen it at quite a few places, so I feel like that's true because why would you lie about that? But I think it's really amazing when people do stuff like this with the money that they could just put in their pockets. I don't think that's ever a bad thing. I think it just kind of shows too, though, it's just the unfortunate part that it just shows that money isn't necessarily lacking. It's just going to different things. And I'm not saying everybody should put their money towards people and feeding and hunger and all that kind of stuff, but you just kind of wonder if more people did, where would we be, right? Rain revealed that her efforts to support the people in need stem from having personally experienced food insecurity growing up. The adult content creator launched Goon for Good campaign September 2025, which she said she started as a joke, but breaching all expectations, the campaign turned out successful and amassed amount way more than she would have expected. It started as a birthday thing, Rain said, quoted by People. Honestly, I joke with fans that we could goon for good and raise money while doing what they were already doing. Sharing her past experiences and struggles, Rain said, I know what it's like to open the fridge and not have much there. I know what it's like to see your parents stress about groceries and make choice between paying rent or feeding the family, she added. In December 2024, Rain told People that she grew up poor in a devout Christian household that often lived off food stamps. Food insecurity doesn't care what job you have or who you are. As long as I continue to make money, I will continue to donate, she said. As of September 2025, she earns 85.4 million gross, according to one of her managers. Rain is expected to close out the year at 110 million, which could make her the highest earning OnlyFans creator, People reported. I think she's like 21, 22. So, I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing when you know what it's like to go through this shit and then you take your hard earnings and you put that towards it. Um, it kind of blows my mind that so much money is getting passed around on OnlyFans. And again, this is no shade to OnlyFans models or people that use it. It does just kind of blow your mind though when you think about how much money 21-year-olds are making. And that's over just a couple years on a website. And there's people that are struggling to even make ends meet and pay for food, right? So it's just kind of crazy. And I'm not saying again people with all this money need to do that. I'm not saying that. When you just zoom back though, it is kind of crazy, right? So I mean, go for it. Like I think it's great if you want to use your money for that. I think that's wonderful. I do wonder, do people get tax? Do you get tax credits from that? I'd be curious. Not saying that's why she's doing it, not at all. Okay, so the last one isn't shocking but interesting, and I'm gonna stay on it. I think I've talked about Bonnie Blue before, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I have. I'm pretty sure I have in the last year or so. But let's get into this one particular article in Cosmopolitan. Bonnie Blue now facing 15 years in jail after dramatic Bali arrest over barely legal stunt. She's faked being arrested before, but this time it seems to be the real deal. So this is updated on December 9th. Those familiar with adult entertainer, low-key professional troll Bonnie Blue are used to her staging shocking events for clout, be it in her famous I slept with 1,000 men in a day stunt or falsely claiming to have been arrested. This time, Blue has been detained by police for real and could face up to 15 years in jail and a 270, I'm not sure what kind of money that is, dollar fine if her case progresses and she was found guilty in court. It is reported that Blue was arrested last week after hiring a bang bus and touring around Bali inviting barely legal men to join her to create explicit content. She is now accused of breaking Indonesian laws around producing, distributing, and publicly displaying pornographic material. It is believed that 17 men who are either British or Australian, aged 19 and 40, between 19 and 40, were also arrested alongside Blue. 3 have been held for questioning, according to The Independent. It is suspected that the place was used by the alleged perpetrator to produce pornographic videos. Badung Police Chief M. Arif Bartubara told police when commenting on Blue's arrest in a predominantly Muslim country which has stricter modesty rules than other sites she has toured in the past. And like honestly, I'm not trying to be rude, but I feel like you should look in those kind of things when you go to other countries. I just think it's kind of a form of respect is whenever you're going to check those kind of things, especially countries that have, religions that are different than the West and the UK and Europe, I just think it's a polite thing to do if you're going outside of your country, just to double check, especially if you're going to be doing stuff like that and driving around and interacting with locals like that. Just my opinion. The Sun first reported that Blue and her team were inside a police station in Bali on 5th of December. When initially announcing her visit to Bali, Blue wrote on social media, "Hey boys, there are going to be schoolies. This is the Australian week-long celebration after finishing high school. And to those who are barely legal, cannot wait to meet you when I'm in Bali, so you know exactly what that means." Blue first began making a name for herself by posting videos of having sexual encounters with schoolies in Australia on OnlyFans, a platform she has since been banned from. Oh, I didn't realize that. I was bored of living the 9 to 5, so I thought I will give this a go, Blue explained on Dream on podcast in 2024, hosted by Lottie Moss. I've done Cancun in March, I've done schoolies in Australia, and then freshers in the UK. I share my location online, and I was like, this is where I'm going to be. Let me pleasure you. And there's a massive queue. People are waiting for over 8 hours. Blue also added that she loves taking virginities. On another podcast, Saving Grace, hosted by influencer and internet personality GK Barry, Blue added, I loved it. They loved it, and it made me rich. She also described how some young men would arrive looking visibly nervous. They're holding their IDs up, they're shaking. I can understand why they'd be nervous. They don't know me. They've just queued up for 8 hours on end. All they know is I'm videoing it, and they don't know what to expect. No doubt. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I guess I'm such a prude. This is such a different life than what I would ever understand. But I mean, if everyone's consenting adults, I just, I just, I just feel like you need to, for sure, need to respect the countries that you're going to, period. About this case, the rest, I don't know. That's everyone's their opinions to themselves. Everyone, as long as they're consenting adults, should do whatever they want. But I just think we should respect the countries that we're going to. Do whatever you want in your own country that's legal or illegal, but going to other ones, I just think it's polite to look into things like that. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. I'll keep you guys posted. But anyways, guys, hope you like this episode. Thank you so much for sticking around. I know it's a hard time of year where everyone's busy in the holiday season. Hope you like my Grinch shirt. And I'm trying to bring a new hat and new shirt every single episode on YouTube this December. And I'm going to run out soon of hats, but I have lots more shirts. But anyways, guys, hope you're enjoying the last month of 2025. And if you're into calendars, getting excited for 2026, I will be taking a break here in a couple months. I think it'll be another 6 weeks or so. And I'll take a break here and I'll be uploading everything that went on the podcast in season 10 up here on YouTube. And then I will be back March 1st ish for a new season of the show, and there might be some changes, but stick around, and don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, bye.